Good evening once again, everybody. Welcome to another video briefing for the HAUTE route. It's now Saturday the 3rd of October, and of course we're doing our briefing for our time trial. So welcome again, everybody, back to Bedouin. I hope you had a slightly drier day than yesterday. It was still a little bit damp on the finish line, as I witnessed, but I think overall people weren't quite as damp or as cold as yesterday. Again, very, very well done, everybody who got to the finish line today. The general classification will again be in this newsletter. And a few little reminders before we start the briefing proper. Firstly, red light. We had a couple of riders without red lights today. Either their batteries were dead or they'd forgotten them. Please make sure in the morning when you come down to the start line, it's quite dark often. It's hard to see the cyclists. And of course, tomorrow the visibility will again be indifferent. So please make sure that red light is working tomorrow. And very, very importantly, we always tell people not to cut or fold their bike plate. A certain, we won't mention any names, but he was first across the line today. His bike plate is folded, and it's meant that the first 3 time stops he went through, we didn't actually register his time. Luckily, his time was registered on the finish line. So please make sure your bike plate is not folded around the frame of the bike. It can damage your timing chip. Okay, so stage 3 for tomorrow is, of course, our individual time trial. This is where I normally ask people if they've done a time trial before. I can ask that, but of course, I will get no reaction. So we will act as if some of you have not done a time trial before, and we'll tell you what goes on. First of all, we have the little relive video, starting, of course, from Bedouin, and the first rider will be off the line at 8:30. We'll go through that in a moment. The start line, the official timing start line, is just after the first right-hand bend, opposite Front Bike Rentals, and we then have 6 kilometres of nice and easy. You'll think to yourself, this is very easy, until that bend at Santa Steph, when it goes straight up to 10%, and it then stays at 10% for 10 kilometres. Okay, 10k at 10%, you will definitely feel that. There is no respite until we get to Chalet Renard, where you've got maybe 400 metres of flat, and then we go back up into the 8-9% for the rest of the climb up to the Col de Tempête, and there, of course, it will probably be windy, and of course the wind will be in your face. So once you got to the Col de Tempête, you can then, if you want, go to the very top of Mont Ventoux. So we get there at least once during our 3 days. Okay, into more detail. Here is the climb, and of course the climb is the whole stage tomorrow. Starting at Bedouin at 311 metres. As you see, the first 6 kilometres I mentioned, you're at 4:4, 5:5, 5:8, a nice little warm-up. And then from kilometre 6, straight into over 10%. And then it does not let up for those next 10k until Chalet Renard. Chalet Renard, a tiny rest, but nothing big. And then all the way to the Col de Tempête at 1841 metres. And of course, if you still feel fit, you can do the extra 800 metres to make it to the summit proper, where the roadworks are. All right, so basically you're climbing all the way. There will not be much biggering tomorrow. The weather forecast. On the start line, we're going to have about 9 degrees C. It should just be overcast. Lighter wind, 13-17 kilometres an hour wind. At the top of Mont Ventoux at 9 o'clock, it will be -2. But by the time the first riders get there, we should be at about 0. At 12 p.m., it will be 2 degrees C at the top of Ventoux. And again, still overcast, possibly some rain. Wind speed will pick up to 27 to 37 kilometres an hour. And back down in Bedouin at 12 p.m., we will warm up nicely to 14 C. And again, we hope just overcast, not too much rain. And there the wind will be about 25. Okay? And again, you'll have your rucksacks at the top to change to cycle back down. So that's the weather forecast for tomorrow. Those who've not done an individual time trial before, very straightforward. We shall run you through the procedure. So we start in reverse order. So the slowest rider on the GC starts first. The call time lists will be in this newsletter. So look in the newsletter to find out what time you're called. And you come, your call time is about 20 minutes before your actual start time. So the call time is when you turn up at the start line. The riders will leave every 30 seconds. So we line you up in the start pen, and once everyone's ready, off we go in 30 seconds. And remember, of course, drafting is forbidden except for the duo teams. So anybody caught drafting where you simply let all the air out of your tyres. So go to the waiting area at your call time, not the start time, into the time trial corridor, and then enter the start ramp 30 seconds before the start, and off you go. And we can either hold the saddle for you to go down the ramp, or you can just go down the ramp totally normally. There's no pressure whatsoever. All right. Once the time trial has finished and you've descended, of course descending very carefully, it's a fast descent back down into bed 1. The road could be damp, so descend very carefully. You become a finisher at the top of 112. You get your finisher's medal. Back down to bed 1, you'll collect your backpack. And then we have the post-event ceremony. You're going to receive your finisher's t-shirt. And then, of course, we have the closing ceremony. At the post-event ceremony, which is going to be at 12 p.m. at the VTF Les Florents, the same place as we had the pasta party on Thursday. And then we'll have the prize giving ceremony at 12:30. Okay, so lunch starts at 12, prize giving at 12:30. Don't forget your ID card. There will also be some massages, again, at the VTF Les Florents. So at the race village that you're used to going back to, there'll be nothing there after the time trial. Everything takes place at VTF Florents. So massages there, same procedure as usual. There'll be the HAUTE boutique. There'll be a block beer. And of course, all that remains then is just for us to tell you the time trial technique is basically go as fast as you can. And remember, the only easy day is, of course, yesterday. So enjoy your ride tomorrow. Thank you.